what is yin and what is yang? So you may have heard of them, probably. So yin and yang stand for certain objects, certain qualities. You've heard about that. What I want you, the first important thing I want you to know about the yin and the yang is that it's not fixed concepts. So really, this is the first thing I want you to know. Before we learn what is yin and what is yang, I want you to understand that they are not fixed concepts. So they are relative. Every object, every quality needs a context in the environment. So it's like, let's say someone with the IQ with 100 is higher than someone 60 or 80 and lower than someone with 140. So in the environment of people with an IQ of 40 or 60, the person with the 100 is like, whoa. And in the environment of people with 140 IQ, the person with the 100 IQ is like, okay. You see what I mean? And it's the same with the yin and the yang. It's always a concept, a context is necessary. So a mountain in itself is considered yin because it's stable. It's not moving. Okay. But if that mountain is massive and wow, and there's a small house in front of it, then that mountain, of course, appears yang. But if that house again is massive, then the mountain will become yin again. And I want to explain that to you with plants in the house. So because I really want you to understand that everything is relative. So if you look at this house, for instance, you can see how the plants are really high and the house seems to be hiding. So the house has a yin quality, all right? So, but the house itself is big. So if you would cut off those trees, the house would probably be yang in that environment that it has. And probably when they planted those trees, they were way smaller. So within time, you know how we spoke about the component of time in the Feng Shui? Within time, the yin and the yang change in its relativity. So if you look at this house, for instance, the plants are smaller, like half the house. So the house in this case is the yang quality. If those plants are growing and overgrowing the house becomes yin quality. So you see in this, for instance, we're not talking about the house itself yet. We're just talking about relative to the environment. So what you can see is really the plants are nice. There's the front of the house. And do you remember the landform we did last time? You can see there's a little phoenix in front, is it? Like a little table that's outside in the front. And in the back, you can see the turtle. The trees in that case, it is that covering the back. Just a little reference to the last session. But here you can see how the plants in front of the house are a yin feature and the house is the yang feature, whereas with that house, we would see that this is a difference. And that is what I mean with everything is relative and needs to be in context. And the context is always important. We cannot say something is yin and always yin. Like a child will grow. You know, this is the same, always in the context. So the same with the rooms. The house and every room contains yin and yang in itself. Is that confusing? Is that clear? Let me know. So a room, for instance, painted dark is kept at a cooler temperature and rarely entered is yin quality. If the same room is painted in a light color, kept warm and crowded with people, plants, and pets, then it is yang. It's the same room, but the context makes it change. And here we go again, when I talked about the 4 components, different people living in a place make the place different, correct or not? So yin and yang do complement each other, okay? One can't be without the other. Like we always know, you know, like there's no light if nobody has experienced what darkness is. Positive and negative forces are in constant movement. and each attempting to gain dominance, which leads to the danger of imbalance. It's like a slow-moving river, which is yin, with rocks and stones suddenly becoming yang and speeding up, turning into a waterfall, and then becoming yin again when flowing into a lash. And you see, in the extreme, ice can burn, and a heat stroke produces shiver. And this is why everything is about balance, isn't it? And that what I just told you about the relativity, this is what this symbol, the Taiji, wants to tell us, that within the yin, there is a yang. And within the yang, there is a yin quality. One always leads to the other, and one is always part of the other. So I want you to really understand that there is no absolute. So if you ask me, is my house yin, is my house yang? It will have yin parts, it will have yang parts. So the question is only, what do I need when? And this is where we then come into the creativity, creating these spaces to what we need them. And this is why a bedroom will be always more yin because it has this resting quality. And the living room probably is more yang because that's where you do something. But you probably want to have a yin corner in your living room where you can rest. And this is why in gardens we have different feature like tall trees, bushes, corners to sit, shady spaces, sunny spaces. And that is what the Taiji is about, the balance. The balance, that's what it's all about. And this is where we want to get to. This is how we create our spaces. And this is how we use these opposing forces of yin and yang to create qi and tap into the good qi. So this is why you really need to understand those two principles. And what do they stand for? Well, they stand for a lot, but one of the things is really completely what you've probably heard from that again. Here we go. The principles, yin principle is what we regard in the Western world as female and the yang is male. I really want you to understand that in these times where a lot of things are changing, I really would encourage you just to think and feel more within yin quality and yang quality, as in what is female and what is male. Because we always encompass both, women and men. We encompass both. We have both of those qualities. And it's just a question, what do we live more? Do we live more the yin quality or the yang quality? You know, as women, for instance, we are in the workforce. We're having our jobs. We're having our career. We're living the yang. And then when we become mothers, we become more yin quality. And then when educating the children, we become a little bit more yang. And also, you know, if let's say the traditional picture of the woman stays at home, man still goes to work, the woman will take on some yang quality. So I really wanted to think, and if the man stays at home, by the way, he will take on a lot of yin quality. So this is what I mean. We should think more into concepts of yin quality and yang quality. So night is considered yin, the dark. Day is considered yang, sun is yang, moon is yin. Dry and hot is yang, the summer is yang. The birth is yang quality and death is the yin quality. And you will understand that even more when we go into the 5 elements, which will come soon. Large is yang, like we said before with the plants and the mountain. Small is considered yin. And brightness is yang and darkness is yin. And right now, for you important, rest is yin. That's why I said, mentioned the bedroom. And yang is movement. Everything that's moving is yang. But what's also is like soft is yin and hard is yang. So plastic, for instance, is considered yang. By the way, also because it's produced out of oil and oil is considered yang. yin is like I say, the soft, and there are softer colors, harder colors, and all of these things. So we will dive deeper into the qualities of all of that. But I just wanted to give you, for a starter, these qualities. And what we are doing now is time for your first exercise. I hope you didn't think I would do all the work for you. I mean, I've been talking enough right now. So when this video ends, which will be soon, I want you to have a look around you. And I want you to grab a student object, a study object, anything you like. It could be your desk, just any area. It could be the wall opposite of you. It could be the whole room you're sitting in. So I want you to have a look around, grab pen and paper, maybe have a notebook to hand. So write down, what is your study object right now? What is it you want to study? Also write down the date of today so that you know when you did that. And then look closer within your study object. Let's say it's the room that you're in. I want you to find out what in this room is yin and what in this room is yang. And also write down why you think that is. And so in the beginning, it might be a bit hard, but the more you practice this, the easier it gets. So I want you to just do it. Just get started. Just get messy, imperfect. I don't care. Just get started. What in your study object, let's say this room or the wall over there or your desk, what in there is yin and what is yang? So a cushion, for instance, would be considered yin, soft. A yucca plant, for instance, would be considered yang because it's spiky. The TV is yang, electricity. So, and now you. What's around you and what is it? So you can write down the study object. You can write down what's in it, the object. You can also write down the colors if you want. And then find out what around you is yin and what is yang. You can also only write down the object where you think you're sure that it's yin and it's yang, but also write down why. Come on, you do it now. And I see you soon again in the next lesson. Bye.